effectively, more efficiently, and at the lowest cost to taxpayers. That's my vision for the city, and I'm happy to answer any questions that y'all have about it.
Mayor, when you made the changes, was it because of ineffectiveness on the way the departments were run before, or is it too many administrators, or what would be the reason?
My goal is always to think about where we need to be as opposed to where we are. If our goals are really economic and community development, youth development, public safety, we should organize city government accordingly. What you have seen over the course of the last few days is my vision as to how we can do that with the fewest administrators and at the lowest cost to taxpayers. I think every day people should wake up with the job title being their goal. Recreation is not our goal. Youth development is our goal. Recreation is a tactic that will get us there.
When do you expect to name the heads of these departments?
We've gone through a process of identifying what's important to our community. Now we're structuring our city government to make sure that we meet those goals. The last part of that process will be putting people in place who can make that vision a reality for taxpayers.
About how long do you think it'll be before you name some people?
I would expect that to happen quickly after this reorganization is done.
What do you plan to change kind of specifically from the last mayor as far as your vision specifically?
Well, we have a number of departments changing. We have the Department of Human Services and the Department of Parks and Recreation will be going and renamed into the Department of Youth and Family Development. The EAC will be eliminated. In addition, our neighborhood services will now become the Department of Economic and Community Development. And finally, the transportation area will be coming out from Public Works and will be its own department. One of the things that we haven't had, for example, in our city is someone waking up every day to figure out how do we create the conditions that will allow us to have more jobs in Chattanooga. By putting together this Department of Economic and Community Development, we'll have someone who has that as their responsibility in city government.
Does your Department of Transportation impact CARTA? How does that work together?
Our transportation needs make a big difference in community and economic development. If you think about what makes a better neighborhood, about how people can access jobs on the west side from the east side of town, transportation is a big part of that solution. Whether it's CARTA or the airport, our roads, our bike trails, all of those responsibilities will now go through the Department of Transportation.
What order is most important for you? Public safety, economic development? What order would you say those three things will fall in for you?
I've said over and over again that public safety is my number one priority. We've streamlined the number of people who report into me. One of those is going to be the police chief so that I can make sure that I have conversations with the chief on a regular basis about what's going on in our community. Economic and community development is critical for the future of our city, as is youth development. All those are my priorities, but I've certainly been concentrating the most on public safety.
Can you talk a little bit about the review process that led you to come to this structure that you're recommending? What was that like?
Over the last several weeks, we had a transition process that allowed us to meet with all the department heads, look at what each department was doing, the core functions of each, as we figured out what we had and start moving towards what we need. I appreciate a number of people who helped us through that process, transition team members as well as staff. The next step is now making sure that we start to say the functions that we have in city government currently, where do they go in the new structure, and how can we deliver those services most effectively for the constituents and for the taxpayers.
Can you talk a little about your personal role in that process? And I'm also curious to know if that's included discussion with city council members in anticipation tomorrow.
Our administration has talked to city council members already. I have been in discussions with staff and with people around the city about the future of city government. For example, I had a discussion with city employees and a roundtable about what they would like to see from both me and from the rest of the city government. They inspired me with their discussion of making sure that they fit into the city's vision and into my vision for the future, and how they wanted to be more effective at their jobs by ensuring that we are streamlining line and have our structure set properly, we're going to help them do their jobs better. One more question.
Are all those employees that are in those departments that have either been eliminated or reconfigured, or are they all keeping their jobs, or are we going to be cutting back some more employees?
The next part of the structure is making sure that the core functions that we need are assigned to the different departments. So, to give you an example, recreation, which has been part of Parks and Rec, will now go to youth development so that people and the kids who have that, have those services will continue to get them. People are still going to see their services and their needs met. We're making sure that the vision has come together, that we consolidate to make sure that we are most effective for Chattanooga.
One more real quick. Fire department, where does that fit into all of this, and how about naming the fire chief?
The fire department will report to the chief operating officer, and we'll soon have a process to announce a new fire chief. Thank you very much.